Hi there, welcome to this quick dive into Docker. If you've been hearing about Docker and containers but aren't quite sure what all the buzz is about, you're in the right place. In just 5 minutes, I'll explain what containers are, why we use them, and how Docker makes them accessible. Let's get started. So first, let's answer a fundamental question. What is a container? So a container is a standard unit of software that packages code and all of its dependencies together. Think of it like a completely self-contained box that has everything your application needs to run. Inside this box is your application code, libraries, runtime, system tools, and everything. What makes containers special is that they're isolated from the host environment and from other containers. This means an application in a container will run exactly the same way regardless of where the container is deployed. This leads us to our next question. Why do we use containers? We use containers for three main reasons. First, they're lightweight. Containers share the host system's kernel and don't need a full operating system for each application. Second, they're portable. A containerized application runs the same way everywhere, eliminating the infamous "it works on my machine" problem. And third, they're consistent. Containers create a predictable environment that's the same in development, testing, and production. These characteristics makes containers perfect for modern application development and deployment. To better understand containers, let's compare them with virtual machines. On the left, we have virtual machines. Each VM runs on a complete operating system on top of a hypervisor, making them resource-intensive and slower to start up. On the right, we have containers. Containers share the host operating system's kernel and are much more lightweight. They start in seconds instead of minutes and use significantly fewer resources. While VMs provide stronger isolation, containers offer better efficiency and faster deployment, which is why they've become so popular for modern applications. Now that we understand containers, what exactly is Docker? Docker is an open platform for developing, shipping, and running applications in containers. It enables you to separate your applications from your infrastructure so you can deliver software quickly. In fact, Docker did not invent containers, but it made them accessible to everyone by providing simple tools to build, ship, and run containerized applications. And now let's look at the key components that make up Docker. So Docker has three main components. The first one is the Docker client. Docker client is where you run commands like docker build, docker run, docker pull, etc. And the Docker host contains the Docker daemon, which manages containers and images. Containers are the running instances of your applications, while images are the templates used to create these containers. And finally, the registry, like Docker Hub, is where you can store and share container images. This architecture allows for a smooth workflow from development to production. And now let's cover some basic Docker commands you'll use regularly. Docker has a simple workflow. First, you write a Docker file, which is a text file with instructions for building your container image. Then, you use docker build to create an image from your Docker file. You can use docker push to share your image to a registry like Docker Hub. Others can use docker pull to download your image. And finally, docker run starts a container from an image. These 5 commands will handle most of your basic needs. And that was Docker in 5 minutes. You now understand what containers are, why they're useful, and how Docker makes working with containers easy. Docker has transformed how applications are built, shipped, and run, making development more efficient and deployments more reliable. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe for more tech explainers. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below.